Welcome to today's Lost Souls, where we bring you the most impactful and unforgettable stories from around the world. Today, we remember the lives of remarkable individuals whose legacies continue to inspire and resonate. From iconic musicians to trailblazing activists, join us as we celebrate their extraordinary contributions and bid farewell to those who have left an indelible mark on our lives. Stay tuned for a journey through their incredible stories.
Marilyn Monroe. Passed away at the age of 36, Marilyn Monroe was an iconic American actress, model, and singer, widely regarded as one of the most influential and enduring figures in popular culture and Hollywood history. Born Norma Jean Mortensen on June 1, 1926, in Los Angeles, California, Monroe's life was marked by a swift rise to fame, accompanied by personal struggles and a tragic early death that left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry. Marilyn Monroe's career began as a model in the 1940s before she transitioned to acting. She gained significant attention with her roles in comedy films such as Gentlemen Prefer Blondes, 1953, How to Marry a Millionaire, 1953, and The 7-Year Itch, 1955, where her iconic scene standing over a subway grate became a symbol of 1950s pop culture. Her blend of sex appeal, vulnerability, and comic talent made her a box office sensation and sex symbol. Despite her glamorous image, Monroe struggled with mental health issues, including severe anxiety and depression, as well as substance abuse. Her private life was marred by tumultuous relationships and multiple marriages, including to baseball legend Joe DiMaggio and playwright Arthur Miller. On August 4, 1962, Monroe was found dead in her home in the Brentwood neighborhood of Los Angeles. Officially, her death was ruled a probable suicide caused by an overdose of barbiturates. She was discovered nude, lying face down on her bed, holding a telephone receiver. Empty pill bottles were found scattered around the room. At the time of her death, Marilyn was suffering from psychiatric disturbances and had a history of sudden mood changes and depression. Her death shocked the world and became front-page news globally, leading to widespread speculation and conspiracy. Theories involving figures such as President John F. Kennedy and his brother Robert F. Kennedy, though no evidence has ever confirmed these theories. Monroe's funeral was a private event, attended by close friends and family, including Joe DiMaggio, who reportedly blamed Hollywood for her demise. Marilyn Monroe's legacy lives on as a symbol of beauty, tragedy, and the complexities of fame. She remains a cultural icon whose life and career continue to fascinate generations, inspiring countless books, films, and tributes. Audrey Hepburn. Passed away at the age of 63, Audrey Hepburn was an internationally beloved actress and humanitarian, whose timeless elegance and unforgettable performances made her one of the most adored film icons of Hollywood's golden age. Born on May 4, 1929, in Brussels, Belgium, Hepburn's upbringing across Europe during tumultuous times shaped both her resilience and deep compassion, qualities that defined her life inside and outside of the spotlight. Hepburn rose to stardom with her breakout role in Roman Holiday, 1953, opposite Gregory Peck, for which she won the Academy Award for Best Actress. Her delicate charm, sophisticated grace, and infectious warmth captured hearts and critics alike. She went on to star in classics such as Breakfast at Tiffany's, 1961, Sabrina, 1954, Funny Face, 1957, and My Fair Lady, 1964, performances that remain timeless and influential. Despite a flourishing film career, Hepburn stepped back from acting in the late 1960s to focus on her family and humanitarian efforts. She became a goodwill ambassador for UNICEF, tirelessly advocating for children in need around the world. Her post-film life was marked by her compassion and dedication to humanitarian causes, reflecting the depth of her character beyond the screen. In 1992, during a UNICEF mission in Somalia, Hepburn first experienced severe abdominal pain. Returning to her home in Switzerland, she underwent medical tests that revealed a rare form of abdominal cancer, known as pseudomyxoma peritoniae, that had spread extensively. Despite surgery and chemotherapy, the cancer progressed rapidly. Audrey Hepburn died peacefully in her sleep on January 20, 1993, at her residence in Tolochenaz, Vaud, Switzerland. Hepburn's death marked the loss of a true luminary in cinema and humanitarian work. She was remembered not only for her iconic style and unforgettable screen presence, but also for the boundless kindness and grace she exhibited throughout her life. Her funeral was attended by family, friends, and dignitaries, including UNICEF representatives, reflecting her global impact. Audrey Hepburn's legacy endures as a symbol of elegance, strength, and benevolence. She continues to inspire new generations both through her cinematic masterpieces and her philanthropic spirit, embodying the rare blend of talent and humanity. Elizabeth Taylor passed away at the age of 79. Elizabeth Taylor was a legendary British American actress known not only for her stunning beauty and iconic film roles, but also for her immense humanitarian contributions. Born on February 27, 1932, in Hampstead, London, England, Taylor's career spanned decades, during which she became one of the most celebrated and glamorous stars of classic Hollywood cinema. Taylor's film career began early, with her breakout role in National Velvet, 1944, where her portrayal of a young horse rider earned her immediate acclaim. She went on to star in numerous classic films, including Father of the Bride, 1950, A Place in the Sun, 1951, Giant, 1956, and Cat on a Hot Tin Roof, 1958. Her performance in Butterfield 8, 1960, earned her the Academy Award for Best Actress, and she won another Oscar for her riveting role in Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, 1966, showcasing her remarkable acting range. Perhaps one of her most famous roles was as Cleopatra in the 1963 epic of the same name, where her dazzling presence and tumultuous off-screen relationship with co-star Richard Burton made headlines worldwide. Taylor's 7 marriages and glamorous lifestyle only added to her status as a Hollywood icon. In addition to her work in film, Taylor was a passionate philanthropist. She became one of the earliest and most vocal advocates for HIV/AIDS awareness and research, founding the American Foundation for AIDS Research in 1985, and later the Elizabeth Taylor AIDS Foundation in 1993. Her activism helped bring critical attention to the disease when stigma and misinformation were widespread. Elizabeth Taylor's health was marked by numerous challenges throughout her life. She had scoliosis from birth and suffered a serious back injury as a child, requiring multiple surgeries for pneumonia, hip replacements, and other medical issues over the years. Despite these setbacks, her spirit remained unbroken. Taylor was diagnosed with congestive heart failure, a condition she battled in her later years. She passed away on March 23, 2011, at Cedars-Sinai Medical Center in Los Angeles, surrounded by her 4 children and loved ones. Her funeral was a private Jewish ceremony held at Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Glendale, California. Elizabeth Taylor's legacy as an actress and humanitarian endures. She is remembered as one of the greatest actresses in film history, and a woman who used her fame and fortune to make a meaningful difference in the world. Marlon Brando passed away at the age of 80. Marlon Brando was one of the most influential actors in the history of American cinema, known for revolutionizing the art of acting with his powerful method techniques and iconic performances. Born Marlon Brando Jr. on April 3, 1924, in Omaha, Nebraska, he became a symbol of raw intensity and charisma on screen, redefining masculinity and the craft of acting through a career that spanned 6 decades. Brando's early start in acting began on Broadway, where he earned acclaim for his role as Stanley Kowalski in Tennessee Williams' A Streetcar Named Desire, 1947. He reprised this role in the 1951 film adaptation directed by Elia Kazan, a performance considered one of the greatest in film history. His debut film, The Men, 1950, showcased his unique style, which was heavily influenced by the Stanislavski system and method acting taught by Stella Adler, setting him apart from his contemporaries. His versatility and magnetic screen presence led to memorable roles in classics such as On the Waterfront, 1954, for which he won his first Academy Award for Best Actor, The Wild One, 1953, Viva Zapata, 1952, Julius Caesar, 1953, Sayonara, 1957, The Godfather, 1972, which earned him his second Oscar, and Last Tango in Paris, 1972. Brando's role as Vito Corleone in The Godfather remains one of the most iconic in cinematic history, showcasing his depth and ability to fully inhabit complex characters. Off-screen, Brando was known for his intense personality and advocacy for civil rights and Native American causes. His weight fluctuated considerably in later years, and he dealt with health challenges including pulmonary fibrosis and congestive heart failure. Despite declining health, he continued to impact cinema, even lending his voice to a video game version of The Godfather shortly before his death. Brando died on July 1, 2004, at UCLA Medical Center in Los Angeles from respiratory failure related to pulmonary fibrosis and congestive heart failure. His legacy includes not only his groundbreaking acting, but also his challenge to Hollywood norms and dedication to meaningful social causes. He remains a towering figure whose influence continues to inspire actors and filmmakers worldwide. Sean Connery. Passed away at the age of 90, Sean Connery was a legendary Scottish actor whose portrayal of James Bond set new standards for the spy genre and made him an international film icon. Born Thomas Sean Connery on August 25, 1930, in Fountainbridge, Edinburgh, Scotland, Connery rose from humble beginnings to become one of cinema's most acclaimed and beloved stars. Known for his charisma, distinctive voice, and commanding screen presence, Connery's breakout role was as the original James Bond in the 1962 film Dr. No, which launched the highly successful and enduring 007 franchise. Over the next decade, he starred in 6 official Bond films: From Russia with Love, 1963, Goldfinger, 1964, Thunderball, 1965, You Only Live Twice, 1967, and Diamonds Are Forever, 1971. He also returned in the unofficial Never Say Never Again, 1983. His portrayal defined the character with a blend of suaveness, toughness, and wit that captivated audiences and influenced generations of portrayals to come. Beyond Bond, Connery built an illustrious career with roles in critically acclaimed and popular films, collaborating with major directors. He played Mark Rutland in Alfred Hitchcock's Marnie, 1964, Merry Prankster in The Hill, 1965, and memorable roles in The Man Who Would Be King, 1975, The Name of the Rose, 1986, and The Hunt for Red October, 1990. His performance as Jimmy Malone in The Untouchables, 1987, earned him the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actor. Connery was admired not only for his acting, but for his charm and humble nature, remaining loyal to his Scottish roots. He was knighted in 2000 by Queen Elizabeth II for his contributions to the arts. Known for his low, gravelly voice and rugged looks, Connery became a symbol of masculine elegance and on-screen authority. He suffered health issues in later life and retired from acting in the early 2000s. Sean Connery passed away peacefully on October 31, 2020, at home in the Bahamas. His death marked the end of a remarkable era in film history, remembered fondly by fans worldwide for his unforgettable performances and the pioneering impact he made in Hollywood. Wink Martindale. Wink Martindale, the legendary game show host best known for Tic Tac and Gambit, has died at the age of 91. He passed away on April 15th at his home in Rancho Mirage, California, surrounded by his wife Sandra and family. Born in Jackson, Tennessee, Martindale began his career as a radio DJ at 17 and played a key role in music history when he helped arrange Elvis Presley's very first radio interview in 1954. The two became lifelong friends, and Martindale often shared stories of witnessing the birth of rock and roll. He went on to become one of America's most recognizable game show hosts, leading programs like Gambit, Tic Tac, High Rollers, Debt, and Trivial Pursuit. His warm personality and quick wit made him a household name for decades. Outside of television, Martindale found success in music with his 1959 hit Deck of Cards, which sold over 1 million copies and reached the top 10 on the Billboard charts. His long career also included appearances on shows like The Chase and The Bold and the Beautiful. Honored with a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame in 2006 and inducted into the American TV game show Hall of Fame, Martindale also dedicated time to charity work, supporting St. Jude Children's Hospital and other causes. He is survived by his wife Sandra, 3 daughters, grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and his beloved Chihuahua. Dude Wink Martindale leaves behind a legacy as one of television's most enduring and beloved hosts. Thomas Jeffrey Hanks was born on July 9, 1956, in Concord, California, to Janet Marilyn, a hospital worker, and Amos Mefford Hanks, an itinerant cook. His early childhood was marked by constant movement and instability as his family relocated frequently throughout California during his formative years. This nomadic lifestyle would later influence his ability to adapt to different roles and environments as an actor. When Tom was just 4 years old, his parents divorced, creating a profound impact on his young psyche. The divorce resulted in a complex custody arrangement where Tom and his siblings were split between their parents. He lived primarily with his father along with his older brother Larry and younger brother Jim, while his sister Sandra stayed with their mother. This separation from his mother and sister created an early sense of loss and longing that would resonate throughout his life and later inform his performances in films dealing with family separation and emotional distance. The Hanks household was characterized by frequent moves as his father Amos struggled to maintain steady employment in the restaurant industry. Tom attended multiple elementary schools, never staying in one place long enough to form lasting friendships or establish roots. This transient lifestyle forced him to become adaptable and personable, skills that would prove invaluable in his acting career. He learned early how to quickly read new social situations and make himself likable to strangers, a survival mechanism that became second nature. Despite the instability, Tom found solace in entertainment and performance. He was naturally drawn to making people laugh and often used humor as a way to navigate the social challenges of constantly being the new kid in school. His teachers noted his quick wit and natural charisma, though his academic performance was inconsistent due to the frequent school changes. The lack of stability at home made school both a refuge and a source of anxiety, as each new institution meant starting over socially and academically. Tom's relationship with his father was complex. Amos Hanks was described as a dreamer who struggled with practical aspects of life, jumping from job to job and relationship to relationship. After the divorce, Amos remarried several times, bringing stepfamilies into Tom's life that would later disappear just as quickly. This pattern of temporary family structures taught Tom to value authentic, lasting relationships, while also making him somewhat guarded about opening up too quickly to new people. The absence of his mother during crucial developmental years created a void that Tom would later acknowledge as formative. Janet Hanks was described as warm and nurturing, and her absence left Tom with a deep appreciation for maternal figures and strong women. This would later be reflected in his choice of roles that often featured complex relationships with female characters and his real-life devotion to the strong women in his life. During his teenage years, the family eventually settled in Oakland, California, where Tom attended Skyline High School. It was here that he first discovered his passion for acting, participating in school drama productions. His drama teacher, Raleigh Farnsworth, became an important mentor figure, providing the stability and encouragement that had been lacking. In other areas of his life, Farnsworth recognized Tom's natural talent and encouraged him to pursue acting seriously. The economic struggles of his childhood instilled in Tom a strong work ethic and appreciation for financial security. He took part-time jobs during high school, working in restaurants and retail, experiences that gave him insight into working-class life and the dignity of honest work. These early jobs also provided him with character studies that he would later draw upon in his acting career, particularly in roles portraying everyday American workers. Tom's childhood was also shaped by the cultural landscape of the 1960s and early 1970s. He came of age during a time of significant social change in America, experiencing the tail end of the Civil Rights Movement, the Vietnam War era, and the beginnings of the counterculture movement. While his family was not particularly political, the changing social dynamics of the country influenced his worldview and would later inform his choice to take on roles that explored American identity and values. The instability of his early years paradoxically gave Tom a strong sense of what he valued in life: stability, loyalty, kindness, and authentic human connection. These themes would become central to both his personal life and his professional choices. His childhood experiences of loss, adaptation, and resilience became the foundation for his ability to portray complex emotional states and connect with audiences on a deeply human level. Tom Hanks's journey to Hollywood stardom began in the late 1970s when he moved to New York City to pursue acting professionally. After studying theater at Chabot College and California State University, Sacramento, he made the bold decision to relocate to the East Coast with minimal resources but maximum determination. His early years in New York were characterized by struggle and persistence, taking on small roles in off-Broadway productions and working various odd jobs to survive. His breakthrough came with the television sitcom Bosom Buddies, 1980-1982, where he played Kip Wilson, a man who dresses in drag to live in an all-female residence hotel. While the show only lasted 2 seasons, it showcased Hank's comedic timing and natural charm, establishing him as a rising talent in Hollywood. The experience taught him valuable lessons about television production and helped him develop his craft in front of live audiences. The 1980s marked Hanks's transition from television to film, beginning with smaller roles that gradually built his reputation. His performance in Splash, 1984, directed by Ron Howard, was a pivotal moment in his career. Playing Alan Bauer, a man who falls in love with a mermaid, Hanks demonstrated his ability to ground fantastical premises in genuine human emotion. The film's commercial success established him as a leading man and began his long-standing collaboration with director Ron Howard. Big 1988 represented a career-defining moment for Hanks, earning him his first Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. His portrayal of Josh Baskin, a child trapped in an adult's body, required him to channel genuine childlike wonder while navigating complex adult situations. The famous piano scene at F.O. Schwartz became iconic, showcasing Hank's ability to find joy and authenticity in performance. The role demonstrated his unique talent for portraying innocence without naivety, a quality that would become his trademark. The 1990s established Hanks as one of Hollywood's most reliable and versatile leading men. A League of Their Own, 1992, saw him playing Jimmy Dugan, an alcoholic baseball manager coaching a women's professional baseball team during World War II. His famous line, "There's no crying in baseball," became part of American pop culture, while his portrayal balanced comedy with genuine character growth and redemption. Sleepless in Seattle 1993 paired Hanks with Meg Ryan in a romantic comedy that redefined the genre. Playing Sam Baldwin, a widowed father finding love again, Hanks brought depth and vulnerability to what could have been a simple romantic lead. The film's success was largely due to his ability to convey loneliness, hope, and eventual joy with subtle, naturalistic acting that made audiences believe in the possibility of destined love. However, it was Philadelphia, 1993, that marked Hanks' transformation from popular leading man to serious dramatic actor. His portrayal of Andrew Beckett, a lawyer dying of AIDS, required immense physical and emotional preparation. Hanks lost significant weight for the role and worked closely with AIDS patients to understand their experiences. The performance was groundbreaking in its compassionate, dignified portrayal of a gay man facing discrimination and death. His acceptance speech at the Academy Awards, where he won Best Actor, became a powerful moment of advocacy for LGBTQ+ rights and AIDS awareness. Forrest Gump, 1994, cemented Hanks's status as a cultural icon. His portrayal of the titular character, a man with developmental disabilities who inadvertently influences major historical events, required a delicate balance of innocence, wisdom, and humanity. The role demanded physical transformation, accent work, and the ability to age convincingly across decades. Hanks created a character that was both simple and profound, delivering philosophical insights through childlike observations. The film's massive success and his second consecutive Academy Award win established him as one of the greatest actors of his generation. Apollo 13, 1995, reunited Hanks with director Ron Howard in a film that showcased his ability to anchor ensemble dramas. Playing astronaut Jim Levelville, Hanks conveyed the technical expertise and calm leadership required of a space mission commander, while also showing the human fear and determination of a man fighting for survival. The film's success demonstrated his ability to carry big-budget, technically complex productions while maintaining emotional authenticity. Saving Private Ryan, 1998, saw Hanks collaborating with Steven Spielberg for the first time, playing Captain John Miller in the World War II epic. The role required him to embody military leadership while showing the psychological toll of combat. His performance in the D-Day landing sequence and throughout the film balanced stoic duty with human vulnerability, creating one of cinema's most memorable war heroes. The collaboration with Spielberg would prove to be one of the most fruitful in his career. Castaway 2000 presented perhaps Hanks' greatest physical and emotional challenge. Playing Chuck Noland, a FedEx executive stranded on a deserted island, required him to carry much of the film with minimal dialogue and a volleyball named Wilson as his primary scene partner. The role demanded significant physical transformation, as Hanks gained and then lost substantial weight to show his character's journey. His ability to convey isolation, desperation, adaptation, and eventual acceptance created a masterclass in solo performance. The Green Mile, 1999, allowed Hanks to explore themes of justice, compassion, and moral complexity as prison guard Paul Edgecombe. His performance anchored the supernatural drama, providing emotional grounding for the film's exploration of good, evil, and redemption. The role demonstrated his continued ability to find humanity in extraordinary circumstances. Tom Hanks' relationship with health challenges has been both a personal battle and a public journey that has influenced his perspective on life, career choices, and advocacy work. His most significant health challenge came to public attention in 2013 when he revealed his diagnosis with type 2 diabetes during an appearance on The Late Show with David Letterman. This announcement marked a turning point in how he approached his physical well-being and opened up important conversations about health management in Hollywood. The diabetes diagnosis was not entirely unexpected, as Hanks had been experiencing symptoms and had a family history of the condition. However, The revelation came as a shock to many fans who had watched him undergo dramatic physical transformations for various film roles throughout his career. Hanks candidly discussed how his decades of weight fluctuations for movies like Cast Away, where he gained and then lost significant weight, and A Hologram for the King, had likely contributed to his metabolic issues. During his appearance with Letterman, Hanks explained that he'd been experiencing high blood sugar levels for years, with doctors telling him he was pre-diabetic since his 30s. The actor acknowledged that his lifestyle choices, including diet, and the physical demands of his transformation-heavy roles, had played a role in the development of his condition. He spoke openly about how the constant weight cycling required for his craft had taken a toll on his body's ability to regulate insulin effectively. The type 2 diabetes diagnosis forced Hanks to fundamentally reassess his approach to physical preparation for roles. Known for his dedication to authenticity, he had previously undergone extreme physical transformations, including significant weight gain for A League of Their Own and dramatic weight loss for Cast Away and Philadelphia. Following his diagnosis, he became more cautious about accepting roles that would require such dramatic physical changes, prioritizing his long-term health over short-term artistic goals. Hanks's approach to managing his diabetes became a model of responsible health advocacy. Rather than hiding his condition or downplaying its significance, he chose to speak openly about the daily management required for type 2 diabetes. He discussed the importance of dietary changes, regular exercise, blood sugar monitoring, and working closely with healthcare professionals to maintain stable glucose levels. His transparency helped reduce stigma around the condition and encouraged others to take their health seriously. The actor's health challenges extended beyond diabetes to include other age-related concerns that he has faced with characteristic grace and openness. In interviews, he has discussed the physical toll that decades of film have taken on his body, including joint issues from performing his own stunts and the cumulative effects of the demanding physical requirements of his various roles. One of the most publicized health scares came in March 2020, when Hanks and his wife, Rita Wilson, became among the first high-profile celebrities to contract COVID-19. The couple was in Australia, where Hanks was filming Baz Luhrmann's Elvis biopic, when they both tested positive for the coronavirus. Their diagnosis came during the early days of the pandemic, when there was still significant uncertainty about the virus and its effects. Hanks's experience with CO-19 was complicated by his underlying type 2 diabetes, which placed him in a higher risk category for severe complications. The couple experienced typical symptoms including fatigue, body aches, chills, and slight fevers, but fortunately avoided the more severe respiratory complications that claimed many lives during the pandemic. They were hospitalized in Australia for observation and treatment, spending several days under medical supervision. The CO-19 diagnosis had a profound impact on Hanks's perspective on health and mortality. In interviews following his recovery, he spoke about the experience with his characteristic thoughtfulness and humor, while also acknowledging the seriousness of the situation. He described feeling wiped out by the virus and experiencing a level of fatigue that was unlike anything he had previously encountered. During their recovery period in Australia, Hanks and Wilson were isolated for several weeks, giving them time to reflect on their health, their relationship, and their priorities. The experience reinforced Hanks' commitment to taking better care of his physical health and being more selective about his professional commitments. He spoke about how the forced isolation gave him perspective on what truly mattered in life. Following his recovery from CO-19, Hanks became an advocate for responsible behavior during the pandemic. He used his platform to encourage mask-wearing, social distancing, and vaccination, understanding that his public persona could influence others to take the pandemic seriously. His approach was typically measured and thoughtful, avoiding political rhetoric while focusing on public health messaging. The combination of diabetes management and COVID-19 recovery led Hanks to adopt a more health-conscious approach to his career and personal life. He began working with nutritionists and fitness experts to develop sustainable eating and exercise, habits that would support his long-term health while allowing him to continue working in demanding film roles. This included learning to manage his blood sugar levels while maintaining the energy required for his performances. Hanks' openness about his health struggles has contributed to important conversations about aging, chronic disease management, and the physical demands of the entertainment industry. His willingness to discuss these challenges publicly has helped normalize conversations about health issues that affect millions of people worldwide, particularly type 2 diabetes, which disproportionately affects older adults and those with certain lifestyle factors. Throughout his life, Tom Hanks has experienced significant personal losses that have shaped his worldview, influenced his performances, and deepened his appreciation for the relationships that matter most. These experiences with grief and loss have contributed to the emotional depth and authenticity that characterizes his most memorable performances, while also informing his approach to family, friendship, and the precious nature of time. The earliest, and perhaps most formative loss in Hanks's life was the effective absence of his mother following his parents' divorce when he was just 4 years old. While Janet Hanks remained alive and they maintained some contact, the practical loss of daily maternal presence created a void that influenced his entire emotional development. This early experience of separation taught him about the pain of absence and the importance of cherishing the people we love while we have them. As an adult, Hanks faced the devastating loss of his mother, Janet Hanks, who died in 2016. Her death represented the end of a complex relationship that had been marked by both distance and deep affection. Despite the years of separation during his childhood, Hanks had worked to rebuild their relationship as an adult, and her passing brought a profound sense of closure to that early childhood wound, while also opening fresh grief for the time they had lost. One of the most significant losses in Hanks's professional and personal life was the death of his close friend and frequent collaborator, director Mike Nichols, in 2014. Nichols had directed Hanks in Charlie Wilson's War 2007, and the two had developed a deep friendship based on mutual respect and shared artistic vision. Nichols was not just a colleague, but a mentor figure who had helped guide Hanks through some of the more complex aspects of his craft. His death represented the loss of both a creative partner and a paternal figure in the entertainment industry. The loss of Robin Williams in 2014 also deeply affected Hanks, despite their different career paths. Both actors had emerged from similar backgrounds in comedy and had transitioned to serious dramatic work, creating a kind of parallel journey that created mutual understanding. Williams' suicide highlighted for Hanks the hidden struggles that even the most successful entertainers can face, reinforcing his commitment to mental health awareness and the importance of genuine human connection. Hanks experienced another significant professional loss with the death of his bosom buddy's co-star Peter Scolari in 2021. Scolari had been Hanks' close friend since their early television days, and their relationship represented one of the longest and most authentic friendships in his life. Scolari's death from leukemia marked the end of a relationship that had spanned over 4 decades, from their struggling actor days through Hanks's rise to superstardom. The loss was particularly poignant because Scolari represented a connection to Hanks's pre-famed self, someone who knew him before the celebrity transformation. Within his immediate family, Hanks has faced the ongoing challenge of his son Chad's struggles with substance abuse and legal troubles. While Chad Hanks has worked toward recovery, his problems have created family stress and concern that Tom has largely kept private. The situation has forced Hanks to confront the limitations of parental influence and the pain of watching a child struggle with addiction. This experience has deepened his understanding of family dysfunction and the complex nature of love and support. The entertainment industry has also brought Hanks into contact with numerous losses of colleagues and friends throughout his career. The death of director Jonathan Demme, who directed him in Philadelphia, removed another important artistic collaborator and friend. Dem's passing in 2017 from esophageal cancer represented not just the loss of a filmmaker, but someone who had trusted Hanks with one of his most important and challenging roles. Hanks has also experienced the loss of several older mentors and father figures throughout his career. The death of his high school drama teacher, Raleigh Farnsworth, who had been instrumental in encouraging his early interest in acting, removed one of the few stable adult influences from his formative years. These losses of mentor figures have been particularly significant given his somewhat fractured relationship with his own father during his youth. The COVID-19 pandemic brought additional losses to Hanks's extended circle, as several industry colleagues and friends succumbed to the virus. Having contracted COVID-19 himself, Hanks was acutely aware of how close he had come to serious complications given his diabetes and age. The pandemic losses reinforced his appreciation for health and the fragility of life, while also highlighting the randomness of survival and loss. Throughout these experiences with loss, Hanks has developed a philosophy about grief that emphasizes memory, gratitude, and the continuation of relationships through the impact people have on our lives. He has spoken about how the people he has lost continue to influence his choices and performances, suggesting that death does not end relationships, but transforms them. These experiences with loss have profoundly influenced Hanks' approach to his craft, particularly in roles dealing with separation, death, and mourning. His performances in films like Saving Private Ryan, Cast Away, and A Man Called Otto on his personal understanding of loss and the various ways people process grief. The authenticity of his portrayals of men facing loss stems partly from his own experiences with saying goodbye to important people in his life. The cumulative effect of these losses has been to make Hanks more intentional about his relationships and more appreciative of the time he has with the people he loves. He has become more selective about his professional commitments, prioritizing projects that allow him to spend time with family and maintain the relationships that matter most to him. His approach to loss reflects a mature understanding that grief is the price we pay for love, and that honoring the memory of those we've lost means living more fully and loving more deeply. At 68 years old, Tom Hanks has entered a phase of his life and career characterized by selective creativity, family devotion, and a continued commitment to meaningful storytelling. Rather than slowing down, he has refined his approach to both his professional and personal life, choosing projects and activities that align with his values and provide genuine satisfaction rather than simply maintaining his celebrity status. In the recent years, Hanks has embraced his role as a Hollywood elder statesman, using his platform to mentor younger actors and advocate for causes he believes in. His production company, Play Tone, which he co-founded with Gary Goodman, continues to develop projects that reflect his interest in American history and human stories. The company has been behind several successful productions, including the HBO miniseries Band of Brothers and The Pacific, which demonstrate his continued commitment to historical storytelling and honoring the experiences of ordinary people in extraordinary circumstances. Hanks's recent film choices reflect a desire to explore themes of aging, legacy, and human connection. His 2022 performance in A Man Called Otto, a remake of the Swedish film A Man Called Ove, allowed him to portray a Karajanli widower learning to open his heart again. The role was particularly meaningful as it dealt with themes of loss, community, and finding purpose in later life, subjects that resonate with his own current life stage. His preparation for the role involved deep research into grief, depression, and the ways people rebuild their lives after devastating loss. The actor has also embraced new technology and storytelling methods, appearing in Robert Zemeckis' Pinocchio 2022 through advanced motion capture technology. While the film received mixed reviews, Hanks's willingness to experiment with new filmmaking techniques demonstrates his continued curiosity about the craft and his openness to evolving with the industry. Currently, Hanks is involved in several upcoming projects that showcase his range and continued relevance. He recently completed filming Here, another collaboration with director Robert Zemeckis, which reunites him with Forrest Gump co-star Robin Wright. The film explores themes of place, memory, and the passage of time, subjects that clearly appeal to Hanks at this stage of his life and career. His personal life today is anchored by his enduring marriage to Rita Wilson, whom he married in 1988. Their relationship has weathered the challenges of Hollywood careers, health scares, and family difficulties. Emerging as one of the entertainment industry's most stable and authentic partnerships, Wilson, a successful actress and producer in her own right, continues to be both his personal anchor and creative collaborator. Their shared experience with CO-19 in 2020 seemed to strengthen their bond and reinforce their commitment to supporting each other through health challenges. Hanks's current family life includes his 4 children from 2 marriages, each pursuing their own paths with varying degrees of success and challenge. His eldest son, Colin, from his first marriage to Samantha Lewis, has followed in his father's footsteps as an actor and director. Elizabeth, also from his first marriage, has largely stayed out of the public eye. With Rita Wilson, he has 2 sons, Chester, Jet, who has pursued music and acting while dealing with personal struggles, and Truman, who works in cinematography and has maintained a more private profile. The actor has become increasingly involved in philanthropy and social causes, though he tends to support organizations quietly rather than seeking publicity for his charitable work. He has been a longtime supporter of veterans organizations, reflecting his deep respect for military service. That has been evident in many of his film choices. His work with the Elizabeth Glaser Pediatric AIDS Foundation and other health-related charities reflects his commitment to causes that align with his personal experiences and values. Hanks's approach to social media and public engagement has evolved to reflect his preference for meaningful communication over celebrity maintenance. His Twitter account and public statements tend to focus on sharing interesting historical facts, supporting causes he believes in, and occasionally offering glimpses into his personal interests. He has avoided the controversial political statements that characterize many celebrities' social media presence, preferring to focus on unifying themes and educational content. One of Hanks' current passions is his collection of vintage typewriters, which has become both a hobby and a connection to the craft of writing. He owns dozens of manual typewriters and often uses them to write personal correspondence and notes. This interest reflects his appreciation for tactile, deliberate communication and his connection to older forms of craftsmanship. He has even written a collection of short stories titled Uncommon Type, where each story features a different typewriter. His health management continues to be a priority with careful attention to his diabetes through diet, exercise, and regular medical monitoring. Rather than allowing his condition to limit his activities, he has learned to work within its constraints while maintaining his active lifestyle. His approach to aging has been to embrace the wisdom and perspective that come with experience while staying physically and mentally engaged with new challenges. Hanks remains active in the entertainment industry as a producer and occasional director, though he has become more selective about acting roles. His production work allows him to champion stories that might not otherwise get told, particularly those dealing with American history and ordinary people facing extraordinary circumstances. This work provides creative satisfaction, while allowing him more control over his schedule and commitments. Looking toward the future, Hanks appears focused on legacy, both the artistic legacy he will leave through his body of work and the personal legacy he creates through his relationships and values. He has spoken about his desire to continue working, as long as his health permits, but with an emphasis on projects that genuinely interest him rather than those that simply maintain his career momentum. His current life reflects the integration of all his experiences, the instability of his childhood, the success of his career, the challenges of his health, and the losses he has endured. rather than being defined by any single aspect of his experience. He has woven these elements together into a life characterized by gratitude, purpose, and continued growth. At this stage of his life, Tom Hanks represents not just a successful actor, but a man who has navigated the complexities of fame, family, and personal challenge with grace, authenticity, and an enduring commitment to the values that have guided him throughout his remarkable journey.